Hi, I'm with Badger Basket, here to go through the assembly instructions for the 2-bin storage cubby. Before we get started, make sure you look at all the pieces included. If we're missing anything or have any damaged parts, please contact Badger Basket as shown in the end of the instructional video. This does come in multiple colors, but the assembly will be the same. At the end of the instructional video, I will also be showing you how to stack the cubbies in case you buy multiple cubbies for safety reasons. So let's get started. For step 1, you will need parts A and B, which are the left and right sides. You will need part C, the front. You will need 2 of the K pegs, and you will need 2 of the I large screws. For this step, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be connecting the 2 side panels to this front panel. When looking at the side panel, you're going to see one side that has the groove. The groove needs to go towards the inside and to the back of the cubby. The side that doesn't have anything on it except for the 1 screw hole will be facing to the outside. Now when looking at the inside, you're also going to notice these 2 small holes. One is going to be meant for a peg and one's going to be meant for a screw hole. This is where the front panel, this long piece, is going to be coming off from. So now when looking at the front panel, you're going to see the side that's plain. This needs to go to the front or the outside of the cubby. The side that has these plastic inserts needs to go towards the inside. So you're going to have it facing this way with the slanted edge facing towards the top. On this side, you'll see the 2 holes. The bottom one is meant for the peg, which is going to align to the bottom hole in the side, and the top one is meant for the bolt or the screw that's going to be coming in from the other side. So for this demonstration, I'm going to be using a drill to make this go a little bit faster. Feel free to use a drill as well. Just make sure the torque settings are set on low so that you don't strip any of the pieces. Otherwise, feel free to use a hand Phillips screwdriver. So what I'm going to be doing now is putting a peg into the bottom hole that's going to connect to that front panel. We're going to screw through the top hole from the outside going into the front panel, and we're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. So let's get this put together. For step 2, you need part D, the middle, part G, the bottom, and 6 of the I large screws. Next, what we're going to be doing is putting in the bottom of the cubby and this middle divider. Now when putting on the bottom, you want to make sure that the groove on the bottom panel lines up to these grooves that we have on the side panel already put into place. To make this easier, I'm going to flip this whole piece that we already put together upside down. So this edge right here is the bottom of the cubby. Now this is the bottom panel here, and this is that groove that I was talking about. Now when screwing this bottom panel down, you want to make sure that this groove stays aligned with the grooves on the side for a step later in this instructional video. So we're going to be putting the groove facing downward so that it's in line with these other grooves in place. So right now we're looking at the bottom of the bottom panel. When looking at this bottom, you're going to see that there's 6 screw holes. We're just going to do the 2 outside ones on each side that are going to screw into these side panels. So let's get these 4 into place, again making sure that this groove stays aligned on both sides with these side panels to this bottom. Next, what we're going to be doing is putting in that middle divider. So I'm going to tip this on its back like so. And then you can kind of see how this middle divider is going to go in here. Now when looking at the middle divider, you're going to have this little screw hole to this point that needs to be facing towards this edge here, to this front panel. Now when we put it into place like so, it needs to match the curve. So the shorter end here is going to match this front panel here. The longer angle is going to be the one going towards the top. So what we'll do is we'll put this in the middle. There's 2 screw holes here at the bottom that are going to be screwed from under the bottom panel here from my side. So what I'm going to do is get this lined up, put these 2 screws through the bottom, and get this middle divider put into place. For step 3, you will need part F, the top, part H, the back. You will need part E, the front trim, 6 of the I large screws, and 3 of the J medium screws. So next what we're going to be doing is putting on the back, the top, and the front trim piece. First what I'll do is I'll put on the back. So this back is a thin panel that's going to be sliding down the grooves that we already have put into place. So it's going to align into grooves on each of these side panels. We're going to slide it going straight down. And then you're going to want to make sure it goes into the groove on this bottom panel. So if you need to, you might have to push it down a little bit so you make sure it gets down into that bottom piece. Like so. Next what we're going to be doing is putting on the top piece. Now when looking at the top, one side is going to have the same groove that you see. This groove is where this back panel is going to slide into. So this is going to be facing downward. And we're going to align it on the top so that this panel goes right into that groove. And make sure it's snug down on all sides. So last thing we're going to do is we're going to put these 6 screws in that are going to be going down into the side panels and into that middle divider. So let's get all 6 screws screwed into place. For this next step, what we're going to be doing is putting on the front trim. When looking at the front trim, you're going to see these 3 screw holes that are going to align to these holes that are already pre-drilled into the cubby at each of the dividers in the side panels. So what we're going to want to do is screw from the indented screw hole into those already pre-drilled holes. We're going to be using the medium-sized screws to get this front piece put into place. So next what I'm going to be showing you is how to stack the bins if you bought multiple bins. It's important that you go through the necessary steps to secure these 2 bins together for safety reasons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stack this first bin on top of this one, and then I'm going to show you how to put a bracket piece and screw them on so that these bins are held securely. So first let's get this other bin stacked on top. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the back to the back. Now what's really important when you stack is that this bottom bin goes inside these 2 ledges that are on the top bin hanging out. So make sure that this bottom bin is on the inside of these lower ledges from this top bin. So then we're going to want to make sure that they're even. And what you're going to see is a small hole here and a small hole here. And you're going to see the same thing on the other side. What we're going to do is we're going to put this metal bracket, we're going to put it over so that the top hole of the metal bracket and the bottom hole of the metal bracket show those holes. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put these small screws and we're going to screw into all of these holes so that these brackets are held into place. For this I'm using a smaller screwdriver because these screws are a little bit smaller. Then what we're going to do is we're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. We're going to be putting this bracket again here with the top hole of the bracket aligning with the hole on the top cubby and the bottom hole aligning with that bottom hole in the cubby. And that concludes the assembly for the 2 bin storage cubby. Remember, if you have any questions or concerns, to please contact Badger Basket as shown in the next clip. Badger Basket thanks you for watching and enjoy.